I am Professor Dr. Engineer Jesus Toribio from the University of Salamanca. The title of my presentation is Broadening the Amplitude of the Definition of Structural Integrity, attributed to Galileo Galilei. I am with the Fracture and Structural Integrity Research Group of the University of Salamanca, the oldest in Spain and one of the four oldest in Europe, Bologna in Italy, Oxford in UK, and Paris in France being the other three. You can see the beautiful logo of my university in old-fashioned letters, with the bishop, the castle, and the lion. I am going to divide my presentation into 6 parts. Introduction, second, from fracture to structural integrity, third, material versus structure, 4, multi-scale approach, 5, conclusions, and 6, attribute to Galileo Galilei. Let's go to the first part, the introduction. The aim of the paper is broadening the amplitude of the definition of structural integrity towards a new concept of structural integrity. Second part, from fracture to structural integrity. A historical perspective. In 1919, the European Group on Fracture, the former EGF, changes its name to ESIS, European Structural Integrity Society. Thus, the negative word fracture is avoided and the new term structural integrity is coined. With regard to national groups, we can mention the pioneering example of the Gruppo Italiano di Frattura, founded by Donato Firrao. In 1990, he organized the European Conference on Fracture, ECF8, in Torino, Italy, a very successful conference. In more recent times, the Italian friend Francesco Iacoviello became ESIS president in 2018. With regard to the international groups, Takeo Yokobori founded ICF, International Congress on Fracture, in Sendai, Japan, as early as 1965. A new development on ICF was happened in 2011, in the sense of ICF WASI. This is a picture of the meeting held in May 2011 in Anaheim, USA, of the International Congress on Fracture Executive Committee, ICF EXCO. That year, a new global brand descriptor of the ICF Society was launched, the International Congress on Fracture, the World Academy of Structural Integrity, ICF WASI. Third part, materials versus structure. One reflection. Any material is a structure, a quite more general concept with a broader meaning and comprising also, e.g., the structure of a Bach's fugue, Johann Sebastian Bach's fugue, or of a Beethoven symphony or sonate. And thus, not any structure is a material, but there are immaterial structures. As an example, an approach to Johann Sebastian Bach, the greatest composer ever. These are the first scores of the Fugue 1 of Book 1 of the Well-Tempered Clavier, and the picture, the self-portrait of Johann Sebastian Bach with the canon triplex. On the basis of the hierarchical microstructure of cold-round perlitic steel wires, a topic we have studied a lot, consisting of 2 levels of colonies and lamella, a link can be established with the multi-scale or multi-level structure of Johann Sebastian Bach music. An example of immaterial structure, organizational structure. Following with this approach to immaterial structure, with regard to Christmas oratorium, Weihnacht oratorium in German, we have the macrostructure in 6 cantata and the microstructure, arias, choruses, and recitatives. In the matter of the Well-Tempered Clavier, we have the macrostructure as a fugue, and the microstructure with subject, counter-subject, and episodes, or divertimenti. Beautiful Italian word, divertimenti. Fourth part, multi-scale approach. In the following slides, I am going to propose different approach levels to the concept of structural integrity, towards a new concept or an innovative approach to the idea of structural integrity at different length scales. First of all, the mega-structural integrity. It is referred to mega structures or big engineering structures such as bridges. As a civil engineer, I love bridges, and I am presenting a beautiful picture of the Puente del Pedrido Bridge in La Coruña, Galicia, Spain. The designer engineer was the famous Eduardo Torroja Miret, one of the fathers of the modern Spanish civil engineering. Another beautiful bridge regarding mega-structural integrity is the Ponte do Infante Bridge in Porto, in Portugal. It was designed by Luis Matute and Francisco Millanes. Luis Matute is one of my 3 cleverest students I've ever had, and I am very proud of him. This is a very beautiful bridge, pre-stressed concrete bridge, as the previous one, Pedrido Bridge, typical of pre-stressed concrete construction in Spain, which is of the highest level. Going to another design, also regarding mega-structural integrity, a beautiful picture of the Akashi Keikyo Bridge in Kobe, in Japan. It was world record of suspension bridge in 1996. Very, very beautiful bridge, especially during the sunsets in my beloved Japan. The following level is the macro-structural integrity. Here I am showing the fracture profile in a notched specimen of cold-drawn perlitic steel in a kind of profile we have called Monument Valley profile, because it resembles the John Ford Monument Valley movies, and this is also a small tribute to John Ford, a heartfelt tribute to John Ford, the famous master. My name is John Ford and I make westerns. The following level, going to the finest level, microstructural integrity. This idea was coined by the speaker, Jesus Toribio, in 2017, when he was invited to the meeting of the Italian group on fracture, Gruppo Italiano di Frattura. In the meeting in 2017, in March 2017, in Urbino, the city of Raffaello Sanzio. I launched this concept regarding microstructural integrity to deal with some defects, the integrity at the finest microstructural level. And I am showing the so-called perlitic pseudocolony in a heavily cold-drawn perlitic steel. The concept of perlitic pseudocolony was launched as far as 1997 by Toribio and co-workers, and proper and rigorous definition was published last year in an issue of Procedia Structural Integrity. Going to the finest level, nanostructural integrity, here I am showing an enlarged view, 8,000 times magnification of a perlitic pseudocolony in a heavily cold-drawn perlitic steel with curling of cementite lamella. They are pre-defects and favorable places, favorable locations for initiation of fracture. Then this is the nano level, because it's quite below the perlite interlamellar spacing, which is several nanometers. And changes from structural engineering, fracture mechanics, and structural integrity to biology and medicine. Now, I would like to mention this special year of the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus. Regarding nanostructural integrity, the final aim should be breaking the structural integrity of SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus, a kind of therapy. Just as a conclusion, number 5, I am proposing a new innovative concept of structural integrity applicable to all length scales. And as an epilogue, after logos speech in Greek, after the speech, a heartfelt tribute to the genius, Tuscany genius, Italian genius, Galileo Galilei. Here we have the famous Dimostrazione Matematiche by Galileo Galilei with the famous picture of the cantilever, with the beam, a cantilever, and some analysis of strength of materials and even fraction mechanics and size effect. Thus, Galileo Galilei, the genius, is not only the father or the grandfather of mechanics with the inner law, but also the founding father or the founding grandfather of fraction mechanics and structural integrity. And that's all. Thank you very much for your kind attention.